Hey, welcome to a new video. Mythical creatures have been the subject of folklore and legends for centuries, but what if these fantastic beings are more than just fairy tales? What if, hidden in undiscovered corners of the earth, there's evidence of their existence? As the saying goes, there's always some truth to a myth. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. Number 30. During a scenic train ride through southwest Colorado in 2013, the jaws of a group of people collectively dropped. As their fast train raced past the mountains, they saw from the windows a creature resembling Bigfoot, and it was traversing the rugged terrain. Bigfoot is always described as a large, hairy, ape-like creature, said to inhabit the forests of North America, especially in the Pacific Northwest. The creature is often depicted as standing upright on two legs, and reaching a height of about 7 to 10 feet tall. According to many people in the comments, this could be one of the most credible Bigfoot sightings ever captured on camera. The origin of the Bigfoot legend can be traced back to a newspaper article from the 1950s in the American Humboldt Times. The article told of the discovery of large footprints by California loggers. Various theories have been proposed to explain the origin of this creature in the video. Some suggest it could possibly be a misidentification of a known animal, such as a bear or a large primate. Number 29. The pouakai is a monstrous bird in the Maori mythology. It's often associated with the Haas eagle, an extinct species of eagle native to the South Island of New Zealand. The pouakai is described as a giant bird of prey, capable of hunting and eating even humans. It was said to possess sharp claws and beaks, able to carry away small children and livestock. They were known for their ability to dive from the sky and snatch their prey with great speed and force. The Haas eagle was a massive predator that could reach a wingspan of up to 10 feet. It's believed to have preyed on large flightless birds such as the moa, which could weigh up to 550 pounds. The extinction of the Haas eagle is thought to have occurred around 1400, likely due to the depletion of its primary food source, the moa. Number 28. Fairies are mythical creatures that have been part of folklore and legends for centuries. They're often depicted as magical beings resembling humans, but with supernatural powers and attributes. They come in various sizes and temperaments. One of the greatest debates of the 20th century was sparked by a sensational headline: "Fairies Photographed." This intriguing story persisted for 60 years. In December 1920, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle published the now world-famous photographs of the cottingley fairies. But who actually took them? It all began on a summer day in July 1917, when 9-year-old Frances told her mother that she had seen fairies and even had photographic evidence to support her claims. In his writings, Conan Doyle expressed his belief in the existence of these fairies, stating that their recognition would compel the materialistic mindset of the 20th century to acknowledge the enchantment and mystery that permeate life. Number 27. The Kaonde tribe, a Bantu-speaking people, primarily reside in the northwest of present-day Zambia, though some can also be found in the Democratic Republic of Congo. As these tribe members go on their daily activities, they carry an amulet for protection. This amulet is believed to ward off rare bat-like flying creatures, locally known as kangamato. The term kangamato roughly translates to overturner of boats. Described as a huge lizard with leathery wings, a long tooth-like beak, and resembling a very large bat. The Kangamato is said to feed on meat. In 1958, science journalist Maurice Burton acknowledged the numerous reports of pterodactyl-like creatures in various parts of Africa. And in 1923, Frank Mellon published a book called In Witch-Bound Africa, inspired by his encounters with Kaonde tribe members and the intriguing stories they shared. The Kaonde tribe members were reluctant to lead him to the location of the Kangamato. Driven by a strong desire to see firsthand what the indigenous population had already seen, he decided to show them a photo of a pterodactyl. To his surprise, the Kaonde tribe members collectively agreed on the remarkable resemblance of the creature in the photo to the Kangamato. Number 26. In 1980, the Archaeological Association of Argos or Sticho made a remarkable discovery near Volos, Greece. They unearthed not one, but 3 centaur graves, located about 5 miles northeast of Volos. These centaur skeletons shed light on the ancient legends and myths surrounding these mythical creatures. Centaurs are mythical beings that have held a prominent place in Greek mythology. They are depicted as creatures with the upper body of a human and lower body of a horse. These half-human, half-horse beings were said to inhabit the mountains and forests of Thessaly in Greece. These half-human, half-horse beings were said to inhabit the mountains and forests of Thessaly in Greece. They were also often portrayed as primitive and wild, living in tribes and making their homes in caves. Additionally, they were known for hunting wild animals and arming themselves with stones and branches from trees. According to myth, centaurs, the offspring of King Aeson, mated with the cloud nymph Nephele, created by Zeus in the image of Hera. From this union, the birth of the centaurs occurred, who were then nursed by the daughters of the immortal centaur Chiron on Mount Pelion. Number 24. On the mainland of Denmark, a remarkable discovery was made at Heroldsgård, a skeleton believed to be that of a mermaid. Unearthed by a farmer while plowing his field, this find captivated the imagination of many. The mermaid was first exhibited at the Danish National Museum in Copenhagen in 2012, accompanied by a detailed description. According to this description, the mermaid was about 18 years old and adorned with long, thick hair and sharp fangs. Found alongside the skeleton was a pouch containing intriguing items such as a shark tooth, a snake's tail, a mussel shell, and a flower. The species of the mermaid was purportedly identified as a Hydronymphus pesci, believed to have gone extinct in the late 17th century. Despite a missing left hand, the skeleton was remarkably complete. The discovery of this mermaid species in Europe is particularly rare, as it's believed to belong to the Asian lineage of mermaids. It's important to note that the mermaid skeleton is distinct from the Heroldsgård woman, a well-preserved bog body of a woman dating back to around 490 BCE, found in 1835. Number 23. In a remote area of the Scottish Highlands, archaeologists found what appears to be an ancient fossil of a unicorn. Although the spiral horn is missing or deliberately removed in some fossils, the overall condition of the specimens seems relatively intact. The exact location of the discovery has not been disclosed yet, as further excavations are planned in the area to gather more info. Since ancient times, the unicorn has been described as a legendary creature with a single large spiral horn protruding from its skull. Images of unicorns can be found in inscriptions from the Indus Valley civilization, and are mentioned in accounts of ancient Greek natural history. Additionally, the Bible mentions an animal called the ram, which some translations interpret as a unicorn. The myth of unicorns has a rich and varied history, spanning various cultures and epochs. Early accounts describe unicorns as fierce, swift, and impossible to capture, with a magical horn capable of curing numerous ailments. Over time, the unicorn acquired additional meanings as a symbol of purity, protection, and medieval chivalry. Number 22. A woman named Kay Borleas participated in the Trail 100-mile endurance run on the Honolulu Maka Trails in Oahu in January 2019, when she suddenly had a chilling encounter with the spirit of an ancient Hawaiian warrior. This incident took place during the race known as Hurt 100, where participants traverse a course through the rainforest. The woman was running alongside her friend Cassie when she took some photos. What she captured was a figure believed to be a night marcher. A night marcher is said to be the spirit of an ancient Hawaiian warrior who protected individuals of great importance. The woman had no recollection of passing any person on that specific section of the trail. According to Hawaiian legend, night marchers are considered murderous apparitions, demons, and vengeful spirits haunting the island. They are regarded as the restless spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors, heroes, and warriors. Further investigation revealed that ancient Hawaiian beliefs state that any mortal who sees a night marcher or is seen by them will meet a terrible and violent death. Number 21. The legendary creature known as the Roc is a gigantic bird, which is capable of carrying an elephant in its talons. Despite its seemingly incredible nature, the Roc was considered real based on stories passed down through generations. Even renowned explorers like Marco Polo recounted tales of the Roc. He described the Roc as a bird flying from southern regions to Madagascar, and he distinguished between the Roc and a griffin. He even mentioned that messengers of the Great Khan were sent to the island and returned with one of its feathers. Stories of the Roc also found their way into literary works, including the famous collection of Arabian tales, known as 1001 Nights. Additionally, Marco Polo referred to the Roc when describing Madagascar and other islands off the coast of Africa. He told how Kublai Khan during his travels inquired about the Roc, and was presented with what was claimed to be a feather of this majestic bird. The inspiration for these stories may have come from an actual bird that did exist, the now extinct Epiarnus. This massive bird, standing about 10 feet tall, lived on Madagascar. Number 19. In myths, werewolves are beings capable of transforming from human form into a human-wolf hybrid form. This transformation is often associated with the full moon, although not always the case. Stories of these creatures can be traced back to Greek and Norse mythology, and possibly even earlier. In the 1500s, several people were tried and executed for allegedly being a werewolf. Deep within the quiet rural town of Elkhorn, Wisconsin, people whisper about a cryptid known as the Beast of Bray Road, dating back to 1936. In the ensuing decades, numerous individuals came forward to share their encounters with this mysterious creature. Striking similarities emerged in these stories, with many witnesses claiming to have seen the beast lurking along the roadways. Strangely, some stories reported the creature making contact with vehicles, leaving distinct scratch marks and claw prints carved into their sides. While most sightings occurred under the veil of darkness, sporadic reports resurfaced of daytime encounters, describing a creature with canine features. Witnesses spoke of the creature darting through cornfields, chasing deer, or feasting on unfortunate animals that had fallen victim to car accidents.
Number 18.
The Goatman is associated with claiming at least 5 lives, with sightings as recent as 2019. In Maryland, United States, this disturbing creature is suspected to be responsible for a series of unsettling deaths that have occurred on a haunted bridge. The chilling legend surrounding the Old Alton Bridge, locally known as Goatman's Bridge, tells of the presence of a figure that is half goat, half human. According to the legend, Goatman appears once you cross the bridge. Some claim it was a farmer who offered sacrifices of goats in exchange for satanic powers. Others believe it was the result of a failed experiment, while another version suggests that the creature was an abused circus freak, seeking revenge. Regardless of the origin, the area of the railroad trestle where the bridge is located is considered the domain of the Goatman.
Number 17.
Indigenous Australians have long shared stories of a deadly water spirit known as the bunyip. This nocturnal creature is said to resemble a large seal-like dog, approximately 6 feet 7 inches. Approximately 6 feet 7 inches long with a dark, hairy coat. It resides in the banks of rivers and swampy areas, where it lays eggs in the nests of platypuses. Some stories depict this creature as feeding on crustaceans, while others suggest they prefer human children. The presence of large bones occasionally attributed to the bunyip adds weight to its existence. A notable discovery took place in a cave near Wellington, New South Wales, in the early 1830s. The diprotodon, occasionally confused with the bunyip, had distinctive features. The name is derived from its 2 prominent front teeth, protruding from its robust skull. It became extinct about 10,000 years ago, and had inward-turning toes, earning it the endearing nickname Giant Wombat. It was the largest marsupial to have ever existed, towering over 6 feet 7 inches. Towering over 6 feet 7 inches at the shoulder and stretching 13 feet in length. Comparable in size to the hippopotamus, the diprotodon lived in small family herds. Do you think they're separate creatures, or do you think they're the same? Let me know in the comments.
Number 16.
These images depict a strange creature wandering through a suburb, as if searching for food. However, when a man emerges from his house, the creature startles and flees. Since then, the residents of where this was filmed have been terrified of a creature haunting their streets. But what is it? It's believed to be something called an Aswang. The Aswang is a prominent figure in Filipino folklore, known for its ability to shapeshift. According to Filipino folklore, the Aswang is a malevolent, shape-shifting creature that shares traits with werewolves, vampires, and demons. The creature is often associated with the ability to create illusions, mimicking its victims and concealing its true nature. Additionally, it's said to possess the ability to change the appearance of other objects. Some theories suggest it may be derived from the Asura, a demonic spirit from Hindu and Buddhist mythology.
Number 15.
The Greek island of Crete is said to be a place where monstrous mammoths and Cyclops once roamed. Researchers have unearthed various fossils belonging to a species that can be interpreted as a colossal and terrifying beast. Compared to modern elephants, these monstrous mammals were colossal, measuring 15 feet in length with terrifying tusks reaching a staggering 4 foot 3 inches. With terrifying tusks reaching a staggering 4 foot 3 inches in length. The discovered fossils are estimated to be 8 to 9 million years old. A dramatic find by farmers in this region once revealed an enormous skull with what appears to be a single large eye socket in the middle of the forehead. Ancient Greeks were known to collect fossils like these and attribute tales of colossal monsters to them. The skeletal structure resembled that of a human, albeit on a much larger scale. It evoked thoughts of the Cyclops, fierce and gigantic man-eating giants depicted in Greek mythology, known for their single, all-seeing eye in the middle of their forehead. The newly discovered skull is estimated to be at least 3 million years old.
Number 14.
The cynocephalus, or also called jackal, is a mythical creature described as a human with the head of a dog. Its name literally means dog head. This creature is said to be a herbivore and carnivore. Stories about this creature exist in various cultures such as ancient Egypt, India, Greece, China, and Europe. Unlike other mythical creatures that are sometimes described differently in different cultures, this creature is surprisingly always portrayed in the same way. Some folktales say that there's even a whole race of them hiding out there. However, there's no hard evidence for this. Another legend that circulates is of a holy man named Saint Christopher Lycia, who helped travelers cross dangerous rivers and who is said to have come from the land of the dog-headed giants.
Number 13.
June 1st, 2013 marks the date when a chupacabra, a presumed mythical creature, was captured. A smoking ban at the Prince George's Hospital Center led people to venture into the woods to smoke. There, a group encountered the creature and had no idea what they were seeing. They were amazed by its long tail and pointed, elongated ears, so they captured it briefly before releasing it back into the woods. The chupacabra is a legendary creature from Latin American folklore. It's said to inhabit parts of Puerto Rico, Mexico, and the United States. Descriptions of the chupacabra vary, but it's often depicted as a reptilian creature with spikes or spines running along its back. The creature is also often depicted as walking on its hind legs, resembling a bipedal creature, although some reports suggest it moves on all fours. Additionally, it's also associated with a strong and pungent odor, and sometimes emits a hissing sound. The legend of the chupacabra stems from reports of farm animals and pets being found with their blood drained. It's blamed for the disappearance and losses of goats, chickens, and other livestock.
Number 11.
The Jersey Devil is a mythical creature that, according to folklore, resided near southern New Jersey and Philadelphia. According to legend, he resembles a kangaroo that walks on two legs, with a horse or goat-like head, and wings that resemble a bat, horns, hands with small claws, as well as hooves and a tail. There are several stories circulating about this creature. One of the legends say that in the 19th century, there was a woman named Jane who lived in Pine Barrens, New Jersey. She had 12 children, and when she learned that she was pregnant for the 13th time, out of frustration, she cursed her own child, and said that it would be the devil. However, she gave birth to a normal child, but the child then turned into a beast. In 1909, several newspapers published that people had had hundreds of encounters with the Jersey Devil. An eyewitness is even said to have told of being attacked by an unidentified creature.
Number 10.
In October 2020, a hunter claimed to have captured a sonar image of the creature at Loch Ness, suggesting Nessie to be approximately 328 feet long. The sighting occurred at Invermorston, where the water reaches a depth of 623 feet, halfway down the lake. Keep in mind that the lake's deepest point is 755 feet. The hunter speculated that there's something unidentified in Loch Ness, whether it be a large eel, sturgeon, or unknown species of fish. In another incident, 12-year-old Charlotte Robinson from Leeds, UK, claimed to have seen the monster in August 2018. According to her account, she saw a creature with a hooked head and neck before it disappeared and reappeared elsewhere. Charlotte quickly took a photo with her mobile phone, capturing the moment when the creature surfaced again. Though it disappeared within a minute, the third significant sighting involved photos taken in 2018 by Shy Kelly, which she initially kept to herself, out of fear of ridicule. However, with the ongoing search for the Loch Ness Monster, Kelly decided to release the images. The photos show a serpent-like creature, with its body visible on the surface of the lake. Kelly and her husband were having lunch at the Doris Inn, and they noticed the unusual movements in the water. Although she couldn't capture the full length of the creature, she estimated that the visible parts together were less than 6 feet 7 inches long.
Number 9.
Vampires are probably the most classic among mythical creatures, and they became even more popular after Bram Stoker's famous novel called Dracula. But even before that, vampires would have been scaring the living crap out of people all over the world for a long time. In some places in Europe, vampires have different names, like in Albania they are called striga. They hunt at night because sunlight weakens them, but their cruelest trait is that they feed on the blood of their victims by using their pointed fangs. During the plague, most people who fell ill and did not survive were thought to be victims of vampires because of the bleeding caused by the disease. Although vampires apparently lived hundreds of years ago, you would be surprised to learn that real vampires still live among us, but not as told in the stories. In fact, there would be communities that identify themselves as vampires and try to live off of blood.
Number 7.
The Australian yowie is a legendary creature, often considered to be the country's version of Bigfoot. It's believed to inhabit remote areas of the Australian outback and other rural regions. Descriptions of the yowie vary, but it's often depicted as a large, hairy, ape-like creature, measuring between 6 to 11 feet tall. Its feet are described as much larger than that of a human's, and alleged yowie footprints exhibit a number of The creature's nose is often described as broad and flat, with some reports mentioning bat-like ears. Reports of the yowie's behavior also vary. Some describe it as timid or shy, while others claim it can be violent and aggressive. Deep in the forests of Springbrook, in the Gold Coast of hinterland, numerous sightings of the yowie have occurred. Experts using thermal detection technology have captured not one, but 2 yowies, each measuring at least 9 feet tall. The sightings took place under the cover of darkness, amidst a rugged terrain. One particularly striking scene shows the creature bending over, providing a clearer view of its physical features, including the cone-shaped head.
Number 6.
Goblins are mythical creatures, described as the opposite of fairies. Unlike fairies, who are beautiful and harmless, goblins would actually be very obnoxious. They're commonly known as troublemakers, but this is not the case in all cultures. In English literature, they're called hobgoblins. They're portrayed as friendly creatures. In the borderlands between England and Scotland, where they're known as red-cap goblins, they're believed to dye their hats red with human blood. In Japanese legends, they were also called tengu. Goblins take the form of an old man and a bird and are evil creatures. But in Korea, goblins are more like nature gods or spirits. When asked if goblins ever really existed, an answer is often given that they were possibly dwarves from the Middle Ages.
Number 5.
The griffin is typically depicted as a composite creature with the body, tail, and hind legs of a lion, and the head and wings of an eagle. This mythical creature holds a significant place in mythology and symbolism. The origin of the griffin can be traced back to the ancient Middle Eastern and Mediterranean regions, with its presence spreading throughout Western Asia and Greece. It was often depicted as a decorative motif, and was associated with guarding treasures and invaluable possessions. Due to the lion's status as king of beasts and the eagle's status as king of birds, the griffin was considered particularly powerful and majestic. Here we see its majestic and gigantic wings taking up much of the sky as it soars over the city. However, you don't have to reside in a skyscraper to see a real griffin. You can also pay a visit to the Saudi prince rumored to own one. A video shows a giant griffin, unmistakable for anything else, as the man pets its head.
Number 4.
Banshees are considered creatures that scream as a warning that someone will die. In some cases, a banshee may appear as a woman with a pale face. Other times, it's an old woman dressed in black with red eyes. Historians say the first story about banshees date back to the 8th century, where there was a tradition where women sang mourning songs for those who had died. They would accept alcohol as payment, which would make them cursed. The legend also says that in every family, there's a banshee who warns the members when someone's about to die.
Number 3.
Imagine this. You're walking through the forest when you see a bush almost being ripped out of the ground. A few moments later, a bear-like creature jumps out and runs away. This could be the duende, a mythological creature that appears in various forms of Iberian, Latin American, and Filipino folklore. They're associated with wild nature and are often mischievous with a malicious sense of humor. The creature can be seen as small household helpers. Although they may play pranks, they're generally not harmful. However, in Latin America, the term duende has a different meaning. It refers to small spirits, specifically the souls of fetuses and unbaptized babies. These duendes are described as persistent and nagging spirits, driven by hunger and desire. In Filipino folklore, it's associated with various creatures, including dwarves, elves, and spirits.
Number 2.
Wendigos are described by the Indians of the United States and Canada as giants, which are many times larger than humans. Wendigos are also known to feed on the flesh of their victims. The Wendigo is probably one of the most famous mythical creatures that are also used in many movies. They're evil spirits that are usually associated with winter, cold, and starvation. Some people believe that they really exist, and that they're hiding somewhere in the deep forests. Consequently, there are several videos on the internet in which we hear a so-called Wendigo screaming. According to legends, one can know that the Wendigo is nearby when there's a nasty smell in the air, and you suddenly feel chills.
Number 1.
Dire wolves, along with woolly mammoths, roamed the Americas not too long ago. If you had wandered through the Americas in the Ice Age between 125,000 and 10,000 years ago, the terrifying howls of these wolves would have deafened you. These mighty beasts left their traces from southern Alberta, Canada to as far as Bolivia, with elevations from sea level to as high as 7,400 feet. Canis duris, as they're scientifically known, surpassed their gray wolf counterparts from the Pleistocene epoch, both in size and stature. With an estimated average weight of 132 pounds, dire wolves had powerful jaws, with an impressive first molar specifically shaped to enhance their biting power. Unlike their swift relatives, they relied on their endurance and formidable jaws. This distinctive trait had led to the popular perception of dire wolves roaming in packs in prehistoric environments, collaborating to survive. The remains of some dire wolves discovered show evidence of grievous injuries that would have severely debilitated these animals. However, signs of healing suggest that these creatures possessed a social support system, enabling them to endure and overcome their injuries. Which mythical creature do you believe actually exists? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.